Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 11 of my favorite 31 debut albums of all time. I'm back in the saddle, back from being away. Seems like I've been away for a while, right? Of course, to you guys, I never went anywhere because we continue to bring the show each and every day. I sat there one morning, a couple days before I left, and just banged out, 8 episodes, whatever it was. It's kind of crazy, but now here we are on regular rotation, regular schedule. I'm well rested, ready to get back to talking about debut albums. We've got 10 more after today, but today's a pretty damn spectacular one as we motor through and finish up reaching number 1 on Halloween the 31st. Today, of course, one of the most influential debut albums of all time, specifically for a certain style of music. This album was released on October 10th, 1969, recorded at Wessex Studio in London, England, produced by the band for Island Atlantic EG Records. I'm talking about In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. Arguably the first true full-on progressive rock album ever, right? I know other bands and whatnot dabbled in stuff that we would consider prog, right? Of course, certainly the Beatles, certainly the Moody Blues, certainly Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, right? A little bit of Procol Harum, right? But for the first true on start to finish progressive rock album, combining like this heavy proto-metal thing and symphonic rock, classical rock, right? Elements of chamber music on it. There's all sorts of stuff going on here. You got loads of mellotron and that crazy otherworldly guitar style of Mr. Robert Fripp, right? It's wild stuff here. And again, this would start a whole career for King Crimson that would see them constantly changing and morphing into something different, right? That's just what King Crimson has always done. And ironically, as I'm doing this episode, I didn't plan it this way, but I'm going to see the Beat Band tonight at the Egg in Albany, New York. So if any of you are going, stop by. I'll be there. Eric Porter will be there. Really cool to go witness this great thing that is Beat, right? Playing the music of 80s King Crimson, right? But that's a story for another day. We'll be talking about this concert and the recent one in the Philly area tomorrow night, and in the Prague Seat. We'll have all of us who have attended Beat shows over the last few weeks. We'll be giving our reviews and talking about it. That's happening on In the Prague Seat tomorrow. But anyway, back to King Crimson, Court of the Crimson King. Of course, the lineup is the original lineup of Greg Lake on lead and backing vocals, bass guitar. Of course, he would leave after the second album to go off to that big supergroup known as Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Robert Fripp, electric and acoustic guitars. Ian MacDonald, saxophone, flute, clarinet, harpsichord, piano, organ, vibes. You've got Michael Giles, also Mellotron. Can't forget the Mellotron, right? We've got him playing Mellotron on this, as opposed to Robert Fripp, who would play lots of Mellotron on subsequent albums. Michael Giles on drums and percussion, backing vocals, and Peter Sinfield, of course, on lyrics. So, what do we have on this album? We got lots of behemoth epic tracks on here. Of course, it starts off with 21st Century Schizoid Man. Dun, 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 dun. One of the coolest riffs of all time, right? Got an evil vocal from Lake. Got heavy guitars. You got that really complex middle section. That great searing lead guitar from Fripp. Great drumming on this one too, right? You know? Love the sax. Just what a killer song. Covered by lots of people going forward, especially metal bands. Metal bands love to cover 21st Century Schizoid Man. Next up, you got the lush, melodic, tender I Talk to the Wind. Followed up by what, in many cases, I have listed as my favorite King Crimson song of all time, Epitaph, which has my favorite Greg Lake vocal of all time. Man, the Mellotron on this song is so good. So good. It's like the Mellotron and Greg's vocals. It's just absolutely so emotional. Every time I hear Epitaph, it just makes me so good. Over on side 2, you've got the Haunting Moonchild, right? The lengthy Haunting Moonchild, 12 minutes long. Again, more great Mellotron in here, great vocals. And then finishing it off with more great vocals and Mellotron, The Court of the Crimson King, which is just so dramatic, so wonderful. There's not a bad song on this album. there isn't. It's one of the great debuts of all time. So let's take a look at the charts. Australia made it to number 7. Canada, number 27. Japan, 96. UK album charts made it to number 5. And here in the States, US Billboard Top 200 made it to number 28. And then in 2019, with the release of one of the many reissues, I have the 2009 reissue, but I know they did this again. It went back on the charts in Italy. Of course, Sal, right? Yeah. Number 89. In 2022, it popped back on the charts again in Germany, number 73. Scotland, 39. Davey and Steven were buying that up. The UK rock and metal albums, number 3, and UK independent albums, number 6, as far as certifications go. In Canada, platinum, 100,000 units sold. France, 2 times gold. 2 times gold? If I ever, isn't that just platinum? 200,000 units sold. Italy, gold, 25,000 units sold. UK, gold, 100,000 units sold. And here in the States, also gold at 500,000 copies sold of In the Court of the Crimson King. And as far as singles go, the title track, The Court of the Crimson King, was released October in 1969, so right when the album was being released. So, yeah, a great album, a great, great album. And, of course, that artwork, that's so iconic, right? So iconic. Disturbing, yes, but iconic. And The Court of the Crimson King is my pick for today, pick number 11. One of the great debut albums of all time. Let us know what you think of this album down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today, pick number 11. We'll see you tomorrow for number 10. That's right, we move into the top 10. And again, I'll see some of you hopefully tonight at Beat, Adrian Belew, Steve Vai, Danny Carey, and Tony Levin. Can I tell you a little secret, guys? Do you know that I had to re-record this episode because once again I could not remember Adrian Belew's name? Didn't I do that a few weeks ago? Why? I always have a hard time remembering Adrian Belew's name. I don't know why. Oh, I don't know why. I always want to call him Trey Gunn. It's like, yeah, that. And I'm like, and I've been listening to Adrian Belew's music for decades. Love him. But whatever reason, every time I want to bring him up in a conversation, I can never remember his name. There's like a block on Adrian Belew. It's kind of a strange name anyway. But yeah, but it's, you know. He's a rock star, right? He's the guy I listen to. That's why is it that when I want to talk about him, I'm kind of like, you should have seen me. I should have saved it as a blooper, but I trashed it. But yeah, just I'm sitting here, if I'm talking, I mentioned all the other guys, and then I'm like, and that guitar player and vocalist, and I'm like, why can't I remember his goddamn name? Don't know. Adrian, I'm sorry. But I remembered it this time, which is good. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for day number 10, pick number 10. That's like not day number 10, it's pick number 10. And don't forget, we've got tomorrow coming up on In the Prog Seat. We're going to review some of these beat shows that we've seen in the area. So we should have a few of us on there reviewing the Albany show and I think the Philly area show. So that's all coming up tomorrow night. And In the Prog Seat, so for those of you who have been able to check out Beat on this tour, join us. We'll be talking about what we thought. So that's coming up tomorrow, as well as pick number 10. Till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you real soon. Bye-bye.